Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at BTC. Let's get into the price action and see what's going on. Primarily what we're still looking for is that potential of having this move as a bigger A, B, and a C to the downside. Obviously this does still have the potential to turn impulsive should we start to break down past this 23,922 area. So need to just be aware of that if this move starts to break down deeper here, we could see a more bearish move unfolding. Now, the other thing we need to look out for is there is the other potential way of counting this. We're looking at this as a wave one into here. This is a flat and then actually looking to push up. So we need to just keep an eye on these moves to the upside, even though at the moment they are looking very corrective. Need to just be aware that we could actually look at this move with a flat correction in here, and this could be starting to build for a push to the upside. Okay, with those things said and done, what I am expecting primarily is looking for this move as a bigger triangle here. So for as long as we stay within this range, I'm going to be following this count here. Now we discussed a couple of levels here, looking at this from further back here as A, B, C, D, and then looking for an E wave to the upside. So now because of the fact that we are coming up into this zone of this 1-to-1, which currently sits towards this 29,364, I'm looking out for the potential that, we could see a three-wave move to the upside completed here. Now, the problem within this that I have is within these internals here, to count this as a five-wave move, I don't really like doing it just because of the fact that, we've got such a big wave two here, and this would be a very small wave four. We were looking for that potential of one, two, three, four, but we actually came down and took this high, so that's now invalidated. So what I'm looking for here is for further evidence that this move is actually looking to continue. So this move to the upside here has happened in five waves, but we haven't actually reached this 1618. So I'm being cautious within this that this could still just be a three-wave move up here. If we do, however, find support above this zone of this 28,734, really actually it would have to be above this zone of this 28,858 area because of the fact of overlapping this wave one here. We wouldn't really want to come down to this because otherwise we get some overlap here. Now, if we want to find this as a fourth, basically we'd want to find support in this area, this 28,858, and then we'd be looking for another push to the upside. So that could look to potentially push us up towards this 29,364 to this 29,523. So this would also bring us up into that 1-to-1, as well as take us past this 0.618 area we're looking for. And that was looking at this in relation to this D wave here. Now, the other way we can measure this as a potential E wave is actually to off the previous C wave here, which gives us a target towards this zone of this 29,830, 883. So this would be where we'd be looking at a higher target here. We don't really want to cross the C wave if not necessarily this 29,972. We can wick past it, but we wouldn't want to see a sustained break above this zone. So what I mean by that is, even if we see something like this, we want to see this sort of wick through and then come back down. We wouldn't really want to see this break through this area and start to do this. Otherwise, it becomes less likely. Now, invalidation completely would come by actually breaking back above this 30,036 area. So now one thing we also need to just be cautious of is because of the structure we have within this wave here, I also haven't written off the idea that this could actually be an A, we form a bigger B wave, and we form a C wave again. And that could mean that this D wave shifts over. So really, as long as we remain in between this range of this 27,235 to this 30,038 area, what we need to just be aware of is there's still that potential, that we could see further extension sideways here rather than in any direction up or down. So we need to just be a bit patient with this. Like I said, primarily what I'm looking for is that potential to still have a fourth and a fifth here. If this breaks down, there's going to be some interesting things to look out for here. So we're going to discuss what those could be, because what we were also talking about is the fact that, we could have a move that's not fully completed yet. And we're looking at this from further back here as basically a W, an X, and a Y. So if we do get a push up and we actually start to break through these zones, what I'd be looking out for is that potential to come back up into this 30,359. That would be a 1-to-1 if this is a W, as an A, a B, and then looking for that C wave. The 1-to-1 of the Y wave would actually be just above this, which would be this 30,141. And then if it does look to extend out slightly higher here, potentially this 31,330 one area would be a 1.382, and then we have the 1.236 here at this 30,870, which would actually tie in with coming and sort of retesting the top of this move here. So this will be interesting to see if we do get a push to the upside here. The thing is, you know, we can also potentially just count this as a three-wave move down. So we can't rule out the idea that, we could see a bigger flat correction here as well. This is still on the cards here. There's a couple of ways we can count this move to the downside here. We can potentially count it as a five-wave move, but the structure is not as neat as I would like. So we'll have to just be a bit patient. But really, for as long as we actually stay within this range, I'm not ruling out the idea that this triangle could not be done yet, and we could even see a drop back down, form a D wave, and then get an E wave up again. Now, if this is actually an E wave and we're looking to reject towards that 1-to-1, as we talked about, we need to just be cautious that this doesn't start to break down from this point here. Because what that could then mean is that what we have is this C wave playing out, which could look to break us down towards this zone of this 26,080 at a 1-to-1. So that would be off that high point there. If this had to complete here, potentially we could see a move down towards this 25,432. And then, we've got other fib level support below here. This 25, this says 24,594. And then lower down, this 23,297 to at 22,957. And finally, this lower range here, which we wouldn't want to lose, would be this 21,567. So this would be still looking for that potential where this is a bigger wave 2 here or a bigger B wave to the downside. But we need to just be cautious because, there are a couple of ways of counting this move and it's not really proven itself either way here. Now, one thing I am looking out for is that we could actually be forming something within the structure like this, rather, where we actually form a diagonal here. Now, if this is a diagonal, this could still tie into the idea of being an E wave where we get, you know, A, B, and C, and then we look to break down from there. The problem is that this would have to retrace quite deep because if we came down to, for instance, this 618, that 1-to-1 would actually be up here at this 30,314. Now, that wouldn't fit into the triangle anymore, but it would fit into the idea of having a bigger WX and a Y here. So, this would be a zone I would be looking out for if we do form a diagonal pattern here. Now, the bottom line here is obviously flexible. I've just drawn it off these lows connecting this line here. What I'm looking out for is basically an overlap of this wave 1, which is sitting at this 28,881. If we get a three-wave move down here, A, B, and C, that comes down and takes this low, or takes this high rather, and then we see another three-wave move to the upside, this would satisfy the requirement for this as a diagonal. If we have a diagonal, what I'd then be expecting is a deeper retracement, potentially back down to this 28,599 to this 28,062 area, maintaining this low here of this 27,669. If we lose this low, this would invalidate this potential of this either being an ABC or, in our bullish breakout sort of situation, we were looking for the potential to break out of this zone. That 1.618 reverse, which would make this a five-wave move at that point, would be up here at this 31,582. So there's not enough information to say that this is playing out. Primarily I'm still looking for lower here until it proves otherwise. We need to just see these moves play out properly and just give them time because sometimes, we need to just be a bit patient with the market. It will show us what it's going to do eventually. Okay, so the other thing we talked about was the potential of looking at this rather in this way, where it came into this low. This is A, this is B, as a basically a zigzag pattern here. And then we're looking for a C wave to the upside. So that 1-to-1 would be this 30,844. So if we start to see an impulse developing here, so whether this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, come back down, 3, 4, and 5, something like this. Or potentially this could look to directly extend here, where this is 1, 2, we get another 1, 2 here, and then we look to break to the upside and move in this manner. What we could see is a move up towards towards this 30,844, and then actually look to break down from there. So this is what we need to just also be aware of here within this. Now, the breakout count is still viable. This is the one looking at the flat potentially being completed, but really what we need is further confirmation from this. And what I'd want to see is either, like I said, this develop as a diagonal, finding support, then looking to push up in a 345, or we'd want to see this extend directly up here. Now, the key zones that I'd be looking out for here, if we're looking at this as a potential 1-2-1-2, would be this 29,666. I'd want to see this play out basically in this manner, where this becomes 1-2-3-4. We get a fifth wave to the upside here to this 29,666, three wave down, fourth and a fifth wave to the upside, looking for that to be a five-wave move. And then we would have to wait for those additional fourths and fifths to play out from that point. Now, those fourth waves from this high point, I mean, what we'd be looking at as a potential target if we went up to the 618 and then retrace back down to this zone would be a potential of coming up towards this 30,047 to this 29,812 area. Now, if we get a push to the upside like this in a five-wave sequence, what this would mean is that we have that potential for an additional fourth and a fifth wave here, and we'd want to find support again, above this wave one high, and probably in the zone of this previous structure here that we form as a five-wave move. So we don't have confirmation of this yet. What I'm just doing is mapping this out, looking for that potential of the fact we could actually be having some extension here. The bigger target we're looking here for a confirmation would actually be primarily this 32,168. So that's what we'd have to do to get, confirmation of this bigger move, and then we'd be looking for further confirmation with the fourths and the fifths forming at that point. So this is what this would be that bullish count that we're looking at here. Obviously, if we do move up to this zone, this would then make this C wave a third wave, we'd get a fourth wave and a fifth wave, and then this third wave would basically transfer up into that zone. So this is that bullish scenario looking for the breakout here, but it needs to prove itself. It's not really done anything that's exciting me at the moment. It's just sort of moving sideways here and not doing a hell of a lot. So it's not very conducive of looking at it as a potential impulse. Now, the thing that we also need to be aware of is we were talking about this more bearish scenario. We could be looking at this potentially as an expanding diagonal, or even just into this low here as a regular impulse, then having this as a wave two to the upside. Now, this wave two, technically speaking, could be here, it could be here, and it could actually still be in progress. As long as we actually fail to move back above this high of this 31,015, what we have to be aware of is this move could still look to break down from here. So now this would be looking for that potential of having a bigger breakdown here. Obviously, this blue wave count, if we move back above this 30,036, would be invalidated. But until it is, we need to just be cautious that any kind of a deeper direct sell-off towards the zone of this 25,586 would indicate that, we could have potential for a bigger impulsive structure here, which could be actually looking to extend out. So that's what we need to be cautious of within this move. If we start to break down in a bigger way, this is be what I'm looking out for effectively, is instead of looking at this as A, B, and C, counting this 1, 2, 3 into this low 4 diagonal for a fifth wave, looking for this as a three-wave move to the upside, and looking for the potential to break to the downside here. Now, typical zone that we would not really go back above if it's an impulse is this 786, which would be this 29,461. If we start to break above this area, this becomes less likely that we're going to see that continuation play out. So if we do get an additional fourth and a fifth wave here, what we'd have to just be careful of is that this isn't just, a bigger corrective structure here, and then we break down. Now, it is also possible we could argue this is W, X, and Y, and it could actually be completed, double zigzag effectively, and this could then be starting to build for a bigger move to the downside. But we don't have enough structure here to confirm it. It is just a three-wave move down at the moment, but basically what we're looking out for is a potential that we could see a break to the downside here, looking for this 1618 at this 26,224 for that wave three area. So this would be looking for this impulse to the downside. Obviously, once we start to break down to these levels here, now once we overlay this other count here, we can see that this brings us very close to this 1618 here. That's in teal of this 25,586 area. So this is what we need to be careful of. I want to see, primarily I'm still expecting this to play out as a triangle. So if that's the case, what we're looking for is either this move to start to break down from this location here, where we actually start to break down in a bigger 5-wave structure to the downside, looking for this 1-to-1, or alternatively, this could still be in progress where we get an A, B, C to the upside and then look to break down. And obviously, like I discussed earlier, there is still the potential that we are still within that D wave as well, where this becomes A, B, C, this becomes D, we get an E, and then we look to break down from there. So this is why it's going to be important to see how we react in these zones. If we start to break down and take these lows, next thing I'd be looking for is whether we actually maintain this 27,235. If we fail to maintain that, then it's confirmation that this move is completed. Now, this move could either have completed here, and then we have this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we break down, or this move is completed here, and then we'll start to count the structure from this point here. So this is going to be key. Obviously, we have to just wait for a bit more structure for confirmation. There's nothing really happening here that is indicating that we have impulsive moves to the upside, though they can develop in that manner of a 1 2 1 2. Then next thing we break to the upside here in a bigger way, 3 4 5 4 and 5. And then that would be looking to potentially take us out of this zone that we are talking about. But we don't have that confirmation yet, so we just got to be a bit patient. So I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. As well as that, you'll find affiliate links for both Primates BT and BYBIT down there. Both great exchanges we use on a regular basis. Check them out for yourself. If you don't have an account, using affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.